Yeah, it's a good evening, a cold evening. It was raining. At least it has done good because it rained earlier before the meeting. It could have not allowed me to be heard properly. So it's really nice. God's blessing are with me always. So hello everybody. I'm good. Uh, I see I'm healthy again, and I'm happy to see you people back in the class about soil types. It's very nice indeed. I haven't been talking with Bruno for a long time. Bruno, you got lost where, my friend? So it's really nice. So as usual, it's DANCAN STANELY FARMING. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share and subscribe. So today's lesson is about soil types. So you want to know which type of soil is the best, which one is bad, and how many types of soil do we have? So yeah.
I just wanted to say that, you know, from somebody who doesn't know about these things, this is clearly such an incredibly important issue, okay, from what I understand. And also that, because of course I'm learning, but also that idea, I will talk about it later, but the idea of having a self-sufficient soil, okay, that increases in organic power, all right, and fertility absolutely fascinates me. But sorry, Duncan, you carry on.
Yeah. Okay, that's really nice. It's about sharing ideas and learning from each other. So it's a good evening, and I'm happy we have met today again. So yeah, for a week I haven't been with us for some period of time, but it was because of my fault, because I didn't told him earlier. So I tried to reach him the last lesson, but didn't. So today I reach him, and now he has joined. So it's really nice. Yeah, I can see everywhere is cold. This is so nice because if there is cold, it means there is rain, and rain is like a blessing. Okay, let's start from we want to learn about soil types, and let's start. We have got the main types of soil. We have got the main types of soil. So in the main types of soil, we have got sandy soil, silt soil, clay soil, and loamy soil. These are the main types of soil. Let us start from sandy soil. So maybe somebody may ask, is sandy soil acidic or alkaline? Is sandy soil acidic or alkaline? Sandy soil is acidic. Let's start. Most backyard soils will fall between 3.5 and 8.5 on this scale. Sandy soil tends to be somehow acidic or somewhat acidic. And clay soil tends to be alkaline. Clay soil tends to be alkaline, while pH of silt can vary on either side of neutral, while pH of seed soil can vary on either side of neutral. Let's proceed. Characteristics of sandy soil. Let us know this sandy soil.
Duncan, please forgive me. Sorry to just ask a question. And again, which is better? I'm sure you'll ask this later on, but I'm terribly curious right now. Which is better? Is alkaline soil or acidic soil better?
According to your thoughts, which one do you think is the best?
That's actually a very good question. Let me think. Do you know what I think? Oof. Okay, I'm going to make up an answer. I'm properly going to make up an answer. I think that acidic soil would be better because it will have higher reactivity chemically to what comes into the soil. So it will have a greater ability to break down waste material. Am I correct?
Bruno, which soil do you think is better? Acidic or alkaline?
Bruno, unmute! Bruno, you're muted. Unmute.
Bruno.
Yes.
Which type of soil do you think is better, alkaline or acidic?
The acidic soil.
Okay.
According to me. Yes.
Taebwa. I'm now going to Taebwa. Taebwa Phillips. Taebwa Phillips. Which type of soil do you think is better, acidic or alkaline? Taebwa? Can't get me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruno, you can mute. You can just mute now. It's fine.
It's fine.
So so simple. Guys, the type of soil it is good is alkaline.
Bruno, please mute. Bruno, my love, please mute. You're noisy.
Bruno, please mute.
Yes.
So noisy. Please mute. It's so noisy there.
The Nairobi traffic is not welcome in this class.
Yeah.
I'm muting now.
Please mute, Bruno.
Bruno, tap the screen and you should get an option to mute. The option will come up on the screen. You do need to mute, my friend. Okay, there you go. Yeah. You did it. Beautiful.
Taebwa.
Taebwa, you're muted.
You are muted. Taebwa, I was asking a question. Which type of soil do you think is good? Alkaline or acidic? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Taebwa. Something's happened. Sweetheart, your mic isn't switched on. Your mic, I think you've lowered your volume. Check something. Yeah, got you.
Am I clear there now?
Yeah, you're good. Speak up, darling. Yeah.
Yeah, I think alkaline will be good, and it will be according to the percentage of it, maybe.
Very good. Very, very, very good. You are very serious, Bana. That is the correct answer. Thank you so much.
My God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's proceed. All of you can mute now, so because to prevent the background noise. Okay. Yeah, so let's proceed. Characteristics of sandy soil. Characteristics of sandy soil. First, largest soil particle. Largest soil particle. Large air spaces between the particles. Large air spaces between the particles. Free circulation of air and good drainage. Free circulation of air and good drainage. So sandy soil has got good drainage, while clay soil has got poor drainage. That's the fourth one. Warms up quickly in spring and has a long growing season. Warms up quickly in spring and has a long growing season. Drought resistance, often acidic. Often acidic. Drought resistant or drought sensitive, often acidic. Drought sensitive or often acidic. Weak structure, so many slump or cup. So many slump or cup. Prone to compaction by deep cultivation or harvesting in wet weather. Prone to compaction by deep cultivation or harvesting in wet weather. What is sandy soil best for? What is sandy soil best for? Uses of sandy soil in agriculture. Uses of sandy soil in agriculture. Sandy soils are generally dry, nutrient dense, and fast draining. It is used for planting and cultivation. For useful vegetables, it is used for planting and cultivation. For useful vegetables like potatoes, grams, tomatoes, and many more. A minimum percentage of this soil is required for a given period. A minimum percentage of this soil is required for a given period. The percentage varies from vegetable to vegetable. It varies from vegetable to another vegetable. So let us know, what is sandy soil? Sandy soil is a light, warm, dry, and tends to be acidic and low in nutrients. And tends to be acidic and low in nutrients. Sandy soils are often known as light soil due to their high proportion of sand and little clay. Sandy soils are often known as light soils due to their high proportion of sand and little clay. Silt soil. The next one, silt soil. Silt soil is generally brownish gray with soft and creamy texture. Flow shape, rich in organic matter, and with clay content more than 50%. Rich in organic matter and with clay content more than 50%. Silt soil is a light and moisture retentive soil type with a high fertility rating. As silt soils comprise of medium-sized particles, they are well drained and hold moisture well. As the particles are fine, they can be easily compacted and are prone to washing away with rain, and are prone to washing away with rain, and are prone to washing away with rain. Advantage of silt soil. Advantage of silt soil. So these silt soils are found most so on the river banks of a river. When the river flows, then the soil found on the river banks are known as silt soil, and these soils are really fertile because most of this soil are carried away by rain, the topsoil which are washed away by rain and deposited on the river banks. And these types of soils are very, very fertile and are very rich in nutrients. Advantage of silt soil. Soils with higher content of small particles, in bracket clay and silt, are often considered more fertile. Because they have higher capacity for holding nutrients like calcium, magnesium, and potassium than sandy soils, Bruno, please mute. Yeah. Let's proceed. Good. Clay soil. Clay soil. Let's go. Uses of clay soil. Uses of clay soil. We want to know. It's not only clay soil is used for planting, but there are some uses. Clay soil is used for making pots. Clay soil is used for making pots and toys because the water can be held in the tiny gaps between the particles of clay. Because the water can be held in the tiny gaps between the particles of clay, and soil gets sticky when it comes into contact with water. And soil becomes sticky when it comes into contact with water. Hence, it becomes easier to mold. This soil into any shapes like toys, pots, and statues. So this soil is really good, and I say it's not far from where I am, where people sell pots they make from this type of soil. Yeah. Clay soils feel sticky when wet. It easily forms into a ball and ribbon at least 5 centimeters long. So you can make a ribbon from clay soil 5 centimeters long. Water drains very slowly through clay soil. Therefore, clay soils remain saturated after a heavy rain. Characteristics of clay soil. Clay soils feel very sticky and rolls like plastic. Hot when wet, I mean. Clay soil feel very sticky and rolls like plasticine when wet, they can hold more total water than most other types of soil. And although only about half of this is available to plants, crops seldom suffer from drought. Crops seldom suffer from drought. Are we together? Okay. Properties of clay soil. Properties of clay soil. The small size of particles and their unique crystal structure gives clay material special properties like first one, cation exchange capabilities. Cation exchange capabilities. Cation exchange
Forgive me,
capabilities.
Duncan. What is that word? Cation. How do you spell that word?
Cation. C-A-T-I-O-N. C-A-T-I-O-N.
Okay, fine. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Plastic behavior when wet. Plastic behavior when wet. Catalytic abilities. Catalytic abilities. Catalytic abilities. Swelling behavior. Swelling behavior. Those are the properties of clay soil. And the last one, low permeability. Low permeability. So, somebody may ask, how can you identify a good clay soil? How can you identify a good clay? This is how you can identify it. If it cracks easily, it may be lacking in plasticity. If it cracks easily, it may be lacking in plasticity. If it bends around your finger easily, it will appear to have an abundance of plasticity. It will appear to have an abundance of plasticity. If soil can wrap around your finger without cracking, if the soil can wrap around your finger without cracking, you have a good clay. So it means if it wraps around your finger without cracking, that is the good clay. Let's proceed. Loam soil. Loam soil. Loam soil is made up of with a balance of three main types of soil. It is made up of a balance of three main types of soil. First one, sand. Second one, silt. And the last one is clay. As a general rule, loam soils will consist of equal parts of three soil types. The combination of soil types creates the perfect soil texture for plant growth. Creates the perfect soil texture for plant growth. What is loam soil? What is loamy soil? Loamy soil is ideal for most garden plants because it holds plenty of moisture, but also drains well so that the sufficient air can reach the roots. So this is the type of soil that holds plenty of moisture, but also drain well so that sufficient air can reach the roots. Are we together? Okay. Characteristics of loamy soil. Characteristics of loamy soil. Loam soils contain sand, silt, and clay in such proportions that stickiness and non-adhesiveness are in balance. So, the soils are moldable but not sticky. So that the soils are moldable but not sticky. So the sticky soil is clay soil. And working in clay soil after rain is very difficult. Loam soils are the friendliest soil to cultivate. Loam soil are the friendliest soil to cultivate. Advantages of loamy soil. Advantages of loamy soil. Loamy soils generally contain more nutrients. Loamy soil generally contain more nutrients, moisture, and humus than sandy soil, than sandy soil. Have better drainage and infiltration of water and air than silt and clay-rich soils, and are easier to till than clay soils. Are easier to till than clay soil. Are easier to till than clay soil. Let me also discuss before I go to humus and the components of soil. Let me discuss alluvial soil. There's a type of soil here known as alluvial soil also. It is formed by deposition, alluvial soil. It is formed by deposition of alluvium and sediments carried by rivers and sea waves. Carried by rivers and sea waves over many years, which make this soil very fertile. It consists of various proportions of sand, silt, and clay. It is also rich in organic nutrients. It is also rich in organic nutrients. Let's proceed to humus. You know, humus is found in the soil. So this is very also important. Without discussing humus and discussing soil, then that is like not doing something right, because they fall together. So humus is a dark organic material that forms in soil when plant and animal matter decays. When plant and animal matter decays. When plants drop leaves, twigs, and other material to the ground, it piles up. This material is called leaf litter. This material is called leaf litter. Components of soil. This is very important. Components of soil. Components of soil. Soil is a material composed of 5 ingredients. 1. Minerals. 1. Minerals. Second one, soil organic matter. Second one, soil organic matter. Third one, living organisms. So in the soil, if there is no living organisms, then there will be no decomposition of organic matter in the soil, because these living organisms, break down the organic matter into the soil. So that's why it's always advisable not to burn the soil, because burning the soil kills the living organisms, which led to breakdown of organic matter in the soil that decays into the soil to become fertile. So when you want to plow, you clear the land, it's advisable not to burn the soil. The next one, gas, and the fifth one is water. Fifth one is water. 12 major soil texture classification. 12 major soil texture classification. 1. Sandy, loamy sand. Next one, sandy loam, loamy, silt loam, silt, sandy clay loam, sandy clay loam, clay loam, silty clay loam, sandy clay, silty clay, and clay. So these are the 12 major soil texture classification. Soil textures are classified by the fraction of sand, silt, and clay in the soil. So you can realize this, since we started discussing about soil, a soil which doesn't have silt, clay, and sand a little bit is not good. It's not the best. So you can see these types of soil, most of them contain silt and clay in them. Which soil is not fertile? Which soil is not fertile? Somebody may ask, which soil is not fertile? This is the answer. Laterite soils are those soils that are found in areas which receive high rainfall and have a very high temperatures. So these soils are found in areas which receive high rainfall and have got a very high temperatures. This results into less humus content in the soil, hence they are not fertile. This results into less humus content in the soil, hence they are not fertile. Soil, so they are not fertile soil and are not suitable for cultivation. So these laterite soils are not suitable for cultivation. So in areas which have received high rainfall and there is very high temperature, these types of soil are not good for cultivation. You may ask me, which soil is rich in nitrogen? In nitrogen, which soil is rich in nitrogen? So these are the alluvial soil. Alluvial soil are rich in nitrogen content. They have got a lot of nitrogen in them. We have got also types of humus. Types of humus. First one, we have got molder and marl form in upland forest under aerobic conditions.
Please forgive me, Duncan. Please forgive me. Sorry for interrupting you. What is, I don't know whether you're going to address this later on, but what is the purpose of nitrogen in a soil?
Yeah, we'll discuss this, the purpose of nitrogen in the soil. This question is to all of us, because all of us, we deal with soil. And I think people like Taebo and Bruno should know this, the purpose of nitrogen in the soil. Very important. Types of humus, we have got molder and marl form in upland forest under aerobic conditions. Three humus types.
Duncan, please forgive me. Will you answer that question later on, please?
Of course.
Thank you, my dear.
Yeah.
I know you don't forget. Thank you so much. I'll mute. Thank you.
Yeah. Three humus types, sapric, hemic, and fabric, form in wetlands under anaerobic conditions. So these are the three types of humus. They are sapric, hemic, and fibric, and they are formed in wetlands under anaerobic conditions. And the ones which are found in upland forest under aerobic conditions are moor, modder, and marl. Let's proceed. What controls soil pH? What controls soil pH? Soil pH can be managed by measures such as applying the proper amount of nitrogen in the soil. Soil pH can be managed by measures such as applying the proper amount of nitrogen in the soil. Liming and cropping practices that improves soil organic matter and overall soil health. And overall soil health. What color is soil?
Please forgive me, Duncan. You're saying here, what is that word? All right. Okay. Soil pH can be managed, measures such as applying the proper amount of liming. Is that Liming? Is that correct?
Very fast. That is correct.
All right, then. Very serious. Thank you.
Yeah. What color is soil? What color is soil? So, red, brown, yellow, yellowish red, grayish brown, and pale red are all good descriptive colors of soil, but not very exact. But not very exact. So they are the good descriptives of soil color. Basic types of soil structure. Basic types of soil structure. Soil, air, and water are vital for healthy plant growth and nutrient supply. Soil, air, and water are very vital, for healthy plant growth and nutrient supply. Example of different types of soil structure. I can remember this. I read this in agriculture in Form 2. Form 2, I think so. Yeah. Blocky structure, communal structure, massive, single grain, and platy. Blocky, columnar, massive, single grain, and the last one, platy structure, and I call it the end of the lesson.
Yes. Thank you. Duncan.
Yes.
Can we all unmute?
Yes, of course.
Marvelous. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you. My question to you, I've got the question about what is this incredible, my understanding is that good soil has got lots of nitrogen. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So then obviously because I don't know these things. What is the purpose of nitrogen
The purpose of nitrogen.
in the soil? Yeah.
These is a general question to everybody. What is the purpose of nitrogen in the soil?
Yeah. Can you get me?
Yeah.
I think nitrogen helps in the photosynthesis process.
Okay.
Okay, that's really interesting. So thank you, Tayeba. So
Thanks,
does
Fabian.
all soil have some nitrogen, or can you have soils that have got very, very low nitrogen?
The function of nitrogen in the soil. Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening. Unmute, Bruno. You've just muted yourself.
Ha.
Yeah.
The function of nitrogen in the soil is that
Yeah, carry on. You've muted, sweetheart, you've muted. Don't touch the screen. There you go, carry on.
it helps the plants in proper food making, which ends leads to soil proper growth of plants.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this is this whole thing of that when you have a very low nitrogen soil, you're not going to have a good crop. Is that correct?
Yes, and the plants may also turn yellowish in color.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Thank you so much. And so,
can I be heard there?
yes,
I'm
of
not
course,
sure.
of course. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't see myself on screen, so I'm not sure what's happening. But there's three main chemicals, the big three, KPH, potassium, phosphorus. I forget my other chemicals, but nitrogen is very important because it's a gas. It's very hard. The other three can sit in the soil, but nitrogen is a gas, and we always have a problem to fix this gas, but it's vital. It's one of the three main elements to grow life, and it's either held in the soil in some form in water after rain. If you haven't had rain for a while and you get a night of rain, the next day or two your crops and your leaves and your trees become very green. They're getting a big dose. So nitrogen has this problem that it can, if you upset the soil, if you go ploughing the soil too much, all the organic matter gets upset and you release nitrogen. And sometimes this release of nitrogen is considered a boom because you see everything go green. But the trouble is, that's it. You've let the cattle out of the yard, and they've run everywhere, and then you get a decline afterwards. So nitrogen is the one element that we just have a special technique to capture. We must either the plants that fix nitrogen are very handy. The legumes, they have a special chemical way similar to photosynthesis where they can make organic matter that includes nitrogen, and either when that breaks down it releases nitrogen, or the legumes can exchange nitrogen sugars and I don't know through their chemicals with the plant. So nitrogen is fairly unique in that it's a gas, and we always have trouble to capture it. Too much nitrogen is just as bad as not enough nitrogen, and regular nitrogen is much better than throwing. I don't believe in nitrogen fertilizer. Anything that's fake tends to damage the whole soil structure, the chemistry, and or the things that grow in the soil. It's like you're throwing it a drug, and the plant suddenly gets a big hit and yet it upsets all the chemistry in the soil. And this world idea that the petroleum industry is saving the world by feeding the millions by producing nitrogen, they're really polluting the planet, in my opinion. It's like heroin. It's like a drug.
Okay,
It's the short-
okay, that's really interesting. So planting some crops, that process in the roots, thank you, Warwick, it's very interesting. So that process in the roots of some crops will support nitrogen. So those will support, so those crops like legumes will support the creation and the presence of nitrogen in the soil. Is that correct?
Yes, we call it fixing nitrogen. To
Yeah,
fix.
nitrogen fixation in the soil. Nitrogen fixation in the soil.
I
Yeah.
see. So basically, when you plant a legume like a bean, okay, yeah, correct, those roots create something because of their chemical composition that will fix the nitrogen in the soil. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, they support rhizobium, which is a certain bacteria, and they have little lumps on their roots. They're called nodules. And yes, this is all part of. Yes, I heard, Duncan, that you learned agriculture at school. I remember this from my school days too.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. So, so another question. So I'm the person who knows nothing. So I ask the questions that other people who know nothing are going to ask. So thank you, everybody. But if you, where was I? My brain, please forgive me. Now I've lost my mind. Somebody's else is going to have to speak. Please forgive me. My brain has gone. Okay, sorry. Yes. Can you, is there any way, I'm imagining this is going to be a no. And obviously, unless you have a chemical tester, I imagine that you can chemically test the soil for nitrogen. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm not sure about directly nitrogen. You can certainly test for pH. Yes.
Okay.
They're everywhere, little test kits.
Okay. And will the pH level tell you about your nitrogen level, or are they not related?
That bit I'm not sure. What do you think, Nankam? I don't think you'd need another test, which is probably very simple. I'm sure, little pieces of paper that turn a certain color or something after, wait 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And that type of test, I'm sure, should be around.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you, Tayebu. You said it's a major component of chlorophyll. Okay, nitrogen. So is it? So now again, more stupid questions. Here I am. I'm the stupid question department. Okay, so can you? I'm imagining, because it's a gas, there's no ways that you can look at the soil and assess the soil quality, can you, in terms of nitrogen? You can identify the different soil types from site and texture, but there's no ways that you can say, I can see that soil has got low nitrogen. Is there? There's no way, is there?
Of course, you can identify, because if the soil has got low nitrogen, then it will, the plants in the soil will not do well, and their leaves will start to turn yellow.
Okay, so that's the way. That's the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the soil which has got low nitrogen into them, the crops won't do well.
Okay.
Because you'll just realize that their leaves will start to turn yellow.
Okay. Okay.
That is what Bruno was explaining, like chlorophyll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. But there's no ways that you can pick it up in your hand and go, there's poor nitrogen. You're only going to work it out from the crop. So I always ask,
Yeah. So the what you can do to fix nitrogen is the best way is to plant the legume crops such as beans, peanuts, soy, groundnuts. Yeah. So so this is how we fix nitrogen into the soil.
Fascinating. Thank you so much. It's very, very, very interesting. Okay. Thank you. Another question. All right. From the question department. Okay. Everybody else is the answer department, which is great. Okay. All right. What about, Duncan, you often talk to me about this difference between black cotton soil. Okay. And you talk in different fields. That's a black cotton soil. That's a really, really good soil. Are you talking then about a humus soil? The black cotton soil.
May you pardon?
Duncan, sometimes you've spoken to me that in Kenya, around where you are, some of the soil you've called black cotton soil, and you've said that that is a very good soil. Or
Yeah.
it was a red soil, or it was a clay soil. Okay. So now my question to you is a black cotton soil a humus-based, a humus-rich soil?
Yes, of course, black cotton soil. As you can see, when I was discussing, if you are keen, of all these soils, you can see these soils, all of them contain clay soil in them. And
Yes.
also, I didn't discuss about red soil found in Kisii Islands. And these red soils are they are generally derived from the weathering of crystalline and metamorphic rock in areas of high rainfall. Like Kisii, they receive a large amount of rainfall. So this, like red soil, also contain large amounts of clay in them. So almost these types of soil has got clay soil. So it means clay soil is the best. So it has got a lot of humus in it. Something like that.
Okay. But then what you can do, say, for example, what you're doing, Tayebwa, is you take that soil that you have, which is it doesn't have a lot in it. All right. So my question to you, Tayebwa, because I know that what you're doing at Nakivale with Healing Health, Healing Hearts, is you take the manure and you make that soil very rich quite quickly. Okay, with that organic manure. All right. But my question is, what is the name for that type of soil before you make it rich? What is the name for that? So I'm always trying to work it out. Sorry. What is the name for that type of soil?
It is like loamy sand. Loamy sand. It has a lot of sand and loamy.
Okay. You're quite soft, so I'll say that again. It's like loamy sand. Okay, it's loamy sand. Yeah.
Loamy sand.
Okay.
So it means it also contains clay soil in it. Loamy sand. Just a little bit of it. Like when I was discussing loamy soil, you saw these types of soil contains a little bit of clay. You can't notice, but they contain a little bit of clay soil in them.
Yeah.
That's really
Are we
interesting.
okay, London Junk?
London Junk is fine. Sorry, Taya was laughing. Okay, London Junk is fine. Thank you very much. London Junk is managing the questions department. Thank you, everybody. It's a fascinating education.
Yeah, so I just want to tell Tayebwa, if you can check the notes, I said that loamy soil is made up of 3 types of soil. That is sand, silt, and clay soil.
Yes.
So you can see the way you are saying that the loamy soil contains sand. So I told you, the loamy soil contains sand, silt, and clay soil in it.
Yeah.
Bruno!
Yes.
Bruno, you are banging the door.
You are banging!
I'm banning the.
You are banging the door. Should we enter?
That's Nairobi Junk!
Nairobi Junk. And Uganda Junk. And Australian Junk also is here.
Oh, dearie me. Now everyone's a different type of junk. What I wanted
They're
to
all
say
recyclable. We're junk.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. Okay. What I wanted to say is just a quick summary question. So the best type of soil possible is, tell me.
Yeah, we discussed it.
In what?
It's humus, isn't it? I'm just asking another summary question. Okay, when I'm taking notes, I'm actually very, very, very stuck on taking notes. So this might be a problem. Give me a summary quickly, please, because I'm busy taking notes. So I'm almost like checking all the time. So Give me one type of soil that's the best type of soil.
Silt soil.
Silt.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you did say that with the riverbanks, etc. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. But then it's not very rich in humus. So you want to put some humus in that, don't you?
Of course. Silt soil, this silt soil is it's like the topsoil carried from plantations in different parts. And this soil is also rich in humus because it contains organic matter in it. Because, when the rain rains and it's washed away, like, in your garden, like if it is in a slopey area, then the topsoil will be carried by the rain. So this topsoil is very fertile, and these ones are the ones which are deposited in the river banks,
Okay. Okay.
And these soils are really good because they are fertile.
Okay. Okay,
So
fine.
they are also rich in humus.
Okay, fine. Yes, thank you. Duncan Warwick has got his hand up. I'm your teacher's assistant.
Yeah.
Yes, if I can be heard.
And seen. It's all good.
Yes, the question about which is the best soil. There is no best soil. Well, there are extremes, but depends on your conditions, your plant. It's a game of chess. About you must work out your moves and find the sweet spot for anything. But again, if alluvial soils or silt is rich in nutrient, it probably has very little. If it's just washed down the river and up to the bank, there's probably nothing living in it, and it's so easy to wash away again. If it washed to you, it can wash on to the next person.
Okay.
And we're trying to hold that. We're trying to protect that with the right cover crop. I'm a fan, like Duncan, of no-till or little-till. Don't expose the soil to rain, sunshine.
Yeah.
Try to keep it covered by simple little cover crops until you grow larger crops, until you stabilize. And also, as Duncan just said, you have the advantage with alluvial soils and silt that somebody else has lost it. It's like I know, from the mountain down to the sea, we're letting soil wash away. It's bad for everyone. We should try to hold what we have. Yeah. By covering it. I want to make the point that I've heard many times that the Amazon is in a very high rainfall, very hot climate, but because it's so dense that the actual soil has very little nutrient in it. I don't know if it's a feature of the soil, but they say most of the nutrient comes from the trees, drops down, decomposes, and really goes straight to the roots of what's already growing, and the actual soil is pretty well just an anchor. And once that forest is removed, the rain the fertility of the soil is only 5 years before it tends to, the high rainfall tends to drain most of the nutrients out of it. So a living cycle that really lives above the soil and uses the soil as an anchor.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so the best soil is loamy soil. This is the best soil for plant growth as it has got high water retention capacity. So it can retain water for long and also can retain the nutrients which is required for the plant growth.
Okay. So interesting. Absolutely so interesting. I must say to see, I know, obviously, Duncan, I think in your area, from my understanding, the soil quality wasn't bad to begin with. The soil quality, you had that black cotton soil. But I know for what you've done, Tayebwa, is you have really improved that soil quality and you're getting very good growth now. All right. And that will increase, and you're muted, by the way, Tayebwa. And obviously the plan there is to create in Tayebwa's growing those 2 acres. The plan is to create Sorry, the plan is to create a really secure, self-sufficient system with the organic waste and the seed collection, and to just constantly consolidate the soil. You know, I live here in London, and in the back garden, many years. I think, Tayebo, with respect, my dear, I'm so sorry. I think that noise is coming from you. I think there's noise. Please forgive me. Thank you so much. So I wasn't trying to get, so let me speak. No, sorry. Okay. But, quiet. It wasn't like that. Okay. All right.
I want to break free.
Always. Okay. But, in this flat here in London, okay, a highly urban environment, in London, what you have is you have like many houses all the way around on a block, like many cities. Okay. And then they're long gardens. Okay. And those long gardens were decided as a policy in cities after the war, after the Second World War. Okay, which obviously Britain was involved in, because they had real food scarcity in the war. And they wanted people to start. They literally said, you know, you need to grow for victory. They wanted people to grow in their back gardens. And that's the reason why most people in London, a lot of the old houses have got very long gardens. Okay. Now I don't have access to that garden, but many years ago, there was a wonderful old lady who owns this house, and she passed it on, and she was an old Cypriot farmer. And because she had organic farming there for so many years, okay, like so many years, all right, the soil was like the champagne of London.
Chocolate cake.
You can't imagine. It was like chocolate cake, all right? And she used to show me, she was always out there farming. She was a little farmer. She'd grown up on a farm. And she used to show me like her veg. And I'm absolutely not joking when I say, like, here's, she would hold up marrow that was like this, like unbelievable. Like, look, here's my ruler, 30 centimeters, easily twice the size. Giant marrow. Like giant marrow, okay, simply from the organic soil. I grew once here in my kitchen box, okay, right, I took some potatoes and grew them, and they went like crazy because that soil was unbelievably rich from years and years and years of self-composting. And it just never ceased to amaze me how unbelievably powerful that soil was. I had a plant in here which grew like crazy. And my neighbor said that he'd never seen one that big. And I said, it comes from, I did nothing to it. It comes from that wealthy, that rich organic soil. It amazes me. Yeah.
And Warwick wants to add, can I be heard? I'm not sure.
Yes, you are. Yes, you can.
You have been given a, what would you say, a gem, something special. And sadly, some people, well, the plains of America that were created very thick soils by centuries of buffalo. And then the farmers, it's true, that's a rich soil, but it's I might say, responsibility to maintain it. Some people get this gem and they just wind it down, and then they, the soils of America blew away in the 1930s. Yeah, well, because farmers knew it was rich, and they wanted to make money, or they had the wrong practice. And then the soils were exposed and they just blew away. It was famous, massive winds that...
the Dust Bowls. It was the Dust Bowls of the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Dust Bowls.
So I mean, your responsibility is to look after the baby and...
well, it's all of our responsibilities. And that's why I always, whenever, because... Duncan is the teacher and I'm Duncan's support, but I also teach regarding my own work, and what every single thing that I do is always geared up to what is the solution. Okay. Yes. Yeah. From an individual to a global level, what is the solution? Always. Yeah. Okay. We teach solutions. Okay. We teach solutions at every level. We want to teach solutions. Okay. All right. And what amazes me is the issue of, I've never forgotten what you said about there's an entire province in India that uses organic growing as its policy, and it is possible. It is not that it isn't possible. It is entirely possible. So every single time I believe that we teach somebody new about the actual potential of this, the real potential of the power of nature, we are sharing a future safe solution. We
That's right.
constantly share. We pass on the future safe solution all the time. All the time. And obviously, Tayebo, in your situation, we're looking for self-sufficiency. We're looking for you guys to become self-sufficient. There we go.
Yes, and as I keep pushing, self-sufficiency isn't just getting your food from the ground, it's making yourself independent from the people who want to stop you doing that and make them dependent on the world market,
100%.
which they can control.
100%. 100%. All of these things. I'm going to stop talking. Duncan, my dear, I'm Duncan. So for me, it's always about, it's about an eco-positive approach. That's my personal approach. Okay. Because I taught, so say for example, Warwick, I taught, people who couldn't write a full sentence, teenagers, right? Vulnerable people. Yeah. I taught vulnerable people about sustainability. And I'm not going to go into that class for people who have very difficult lives. I will not go into that class and give them more bad news. I simply won't do it. I won't do it. It's a bottom line. I simply will not do it.
If they feel they have little control over their life, well,
I'm not going to do it.
They can control in their life.
Of course. I consider it an absolute responsibility to share hope and to share positive action and direct and specific things that we can do across all sectors. Yeah. Duncan, I'm going to keep quiet.
I know we're in the developed.
What's that, Warwick?
Well, we're in the developed world, and you and I, at least, can see what's wrong, and we can see positive people out there who are trying to do it right, put it right.
We learn from, I believe, 100% that Duncan and his community and Tayebwa and his community, they are the teachers of the future. Okay?
Yeah.
Guardians of the future and the teachers of the future. It is a fight, and the fight is a fine fight. Right? Okay, we keep going. Right, that's how we roll around here. We pack up our bags, we get our brains switched on, our hearts switched on, and we fight.
It's going to be interesting that Duncan has people coming from Europe whose feet are on the ground. Literally, they'll have their feet on the ground in Kenya. So I've not really done any hard work in a faraway place. It'll be good to see people who not only can speak when they need, but they can do something. Actually, do what is it to say and to do are two different things.
A lot of the stuff, I taught teenagers who would ask me, what is carbon? What is climate change? We've got to start somewhere. Okay, education is critically important. Okay, it's unbelievably important. I know, for example, right now, Tayebo, I know that you're teaching your community. Okay, everybody who comes and learns with Tayebwa goes away with greater understanding. Okay, and it is that we've got to teach, and we've got to teach in a way that anyone can understand. I feel very strongly about that. Okay,
and can I add that my actual life here in Cabramatta, in southwest Sydney, it's getting hotter. Clearly winters, I can get through a winter with a single jacket these days. But we hear about other countries that are really climate change is, critically affecting their ability to feed themselves, their buildings, the storm.
We know this.
Water, I hear about this all the time on the radio.
We know this. And this is why we constantly share positive solutions, Warwick. Yeah. We know the danger of what's going on. And this is why we strive and we work hard to share solutions.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we are doing. Yeah. We are fighters and we are fighting for a safe, clean, fair future. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it sounds like Kenya, around at least where Duncan tells me, that nothing dramatic has happened yet to do with climate change. So that may be good news. But some places more than others. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, if I just mentioned the Sahara Desert was once a sea.
Okay. We share positive solutions, right? For people who are right at the cutting edge of need. For people who are the bravest people I have ever met or likely will ever meet. That's what we do. That's what we do around here. Okay? Duncan, are you going to come back to us to finish your class, my dear?
We seem to be missing Duncan.
Where is he? Bless him.
He's gone to the toilet.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes,
Ah!
yes,
There he is! Mr. Stanley!
He's taking some guavas.
More! Fresh again from the tree! He's busy!
But
He's been taking some guavas.
You're busy eating guava! Duncan, we can't see you, darling. We can't see you.
yeah. I don't have lights. Lights are off. That's why.
I feel very guilty. My friend, he left
Okay.
behind a small mango, but I can't find it. And I think, what a gem! And it's rotting. You talk about guavas and mangoes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
heaven,
yeah.
Heaven, heaven. Duncan, my darling, let me switch. Okay, I'm going to mute you, Warwick, if you don't mind, with no disrespect. It's just to be able to hear Duncan. Is that okay?
No, that's fine, yes.
Thank you. Duncan, are you there? I don't need to mute you, actually. Duncan, are you there, Duncan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Would you like to conclude your class, my dear? You're very, very soft. It's hard to hear you.
Duncan, we're sorry. Please come back.
I'm here.
Ah! Now we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's really nice. It was a good lesson. I've learned from you guys. You have also learned something from me. So it was a good lesson today.
Can we see you, Duncan?
There is no light where I am.
Ah!
That is the problem. You won't be able to see me.
Okay.
That's why I've turned off the video.
Okay.
There's no light.
Okay.
So I think I can just conclude and we finish up.
Yes.
Yeah. No electricity.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining Wawik. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier the last class. You can't see me well.
Yes, I can see a flashing light. Yes. A firefly.
I can see your beautiful teeth.
Ah, very nice. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you, Taebia, for the wonderful work you are doing there in Akivale. I'm really pleased. At least you are doing something great. It's really beautiful. I see your crops are coming up well. That is so nice. Thank you, Awik, for attending the lesson also. It's always nice to have you in my lesson. Thank you so much, London Young, for making all this happen.
Salute!
So I'm really glad.
Salute! Moya
So
Safi.
to all my followers in both in YouTube and in Facebook and in my page JQuat, Nature's Promise, please share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
The light is going out.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, it's really wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's catch up in the next lesson.
Can I just say one quick thing? Is that I will be working in the forthcoming weeks and months to put together class tests and other things to support the development of this teaching course, okay? To help people to self-test, etc. online. So there'll be fun ways for you to check your learning, okay? Or I'm not going to, that's coming up really by the end of this year, start of next year in terms of my planning, okay? But it'll be my great pleasure, all right? Okay, right. Thank you, Duncan. You tell us goodbye. I just wanted to give a message to everybody that there's more coming.
Okay. Goodbye to everybody. All the best in whatever you are doing. Good luck in your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.